Minute from the MCG, Hawthorn and the Sydney Swans. Thompson doing the ruck work. He's gone away from goal and winning it already. And he's almost kicked a goal with some hanging on. It's a Hawthorn free kick. Tallis to have the shot from almost in front.
And what Raiden Tallis is doing is actually picking up Matty Nix. So he's come down from half back and he's actually dragged Matty Nix back to the Hawthorn goal square. This will be a good start, and I suppose the Hawks have shown in the early part of this season, with certainly the win that comes to mind is against Swan, where they had a terrific start in the game.
Well, they are a team of momentum. When the Hawks get going, they can really get going, so they'd love a goal to start with, and Raiden Tallis has provided a behind.
Be disappointed with that. Obviously, that shows you how tricky the conditions are out there with this wind.
Oh, Raiden Tallis felt he kicked that.
He might have been trying to convince the umpire that he kicked it.
So Matty Nix to bring it back in. Member side of the ground. Long Thompson will sit there, not able to take it second by Cox for the Hawks. Back inside as a mark for Johnson. And
so the first shot at goal wasn't actually a goal, it was a behind after all. Now the Hawks get a chance through Brett Johnson to line up.
Always dangerous too, Dakes, on a kick out. If you can get the ball back into your forward 50 by a small or a quick kick, that you always seem to catch a defender out.
So Brett Johnson, who has reappeared in the last few weeks for the Hawks, an opportunity. Tallis miss. Brett Johnson does not. It's a goal. Hawks have their first. So the youngster comes up with it, and that gives you an idea of just the type of conditions the players are up against. Swirling conditions at the G. The Matty Nix kick in. Thompson there, able to contest, comes down. Cox, who has been a good player, quick kick in. And Soft, just important to try and cut the fancy work out, go in as deep as possible.
And I guess today that's all you want. You want a quick kick into your forward 50, and I guess the Hawthorn forward there appreciated that.
Been a dominant start so far by the Hawks in the opening 2 or 3 minutes, and the result, 1-1.
Daniel Chick in the middle of the ground for Hawthorn.
Doyle and Dixon coming in off the line, doing well, giving them some added aggression. Fixter was high over the shoulder, so again the Hawks can get going, and they've got the runners coming out of the fence. Rawlings pumping it in there. Goods working hard back, helping his teammates out. Now Williams, this is where the dash and the run starts for the Swans. Kelly, that was lightning quick, and it turned out to be pretty accurate, but not so effective now as Wren able to send the Hawks forward on the rebound. Barlow, who's been pretty consistent for them this year in a fairly dysfunctional forward line. He delivers well that time. Holland.
Ben Dixon's on the opposite side, running with the goal square now.
Just pumping it up high. Thompson one-on-one. Well done, well read by Barry. And he can use Doyle on the way out. He's got Saddington running for him to the wing. Doesn't use him, goes for Matthews instead. And now the Hawks have managed to man up most of the players on the way out, but not Paul Kelly, who might have to go for Buchanan or even longer up for Nix. Now he goes by hand out very wide. Saddington carried the ball well in the end. He went short to a one-on-one. And the Hawks with the extra man across half-back. Rawlings it was cleaning up. And they've done well again. Graham. Hawks going short initially, and then they try and move it quickly along the wing. Johnson getting plenty of attention, accosted by the Swans players. And illegally, said the umpire, free kick to young Brett Johnson.
Well, at the moment, Sydney's certainly making hard work of it, going very short. And I think in the conditions, and I made mention, cut out the fancy stuff, go direct, even if we are predictable, make the contest further up the ground. And I just feel at the moment the penetration is coming from Hawthorn. So Johnson just over wing. Great mark in the end. Barlow. Sandwich between two. Great luxury today will be controlling the ball overhead. It'll drop short. Crouch back there, second bite. Make sure to take a mark.
That's where the Hawthorn forwards need to keep presenting, because the Swans backmen and on balls keep dropping back, and they will flood back there.
Crouch to Fosdyke. Out wide to Bolton. Will take it. Run on that left side. Will straighten up. Hands off over the top. Good running. Moves and straightens and balances up. O'Loughlin will come out. Great use of the body. Michael O'Loughlin, terrific. And certainly giving away even weight to mark, Graham. Certainly height, did it beautifully, and took in the end a pretty easy mark.
And that's just about reading the ball. He just hit his opponent off the line of the ball. Great kick by there by Goods, but he just hits him, gets him off balance, and he's able to take an easy mark.
Wonderful player, Michael O'Loughlin. Certainly up and down year. On alone in that department. Chance for Sydney, and he misses. To the left, minor score. So Sydney are on the board. It's their first score of the game, 6.5 minutes first quarter. Hawthorn still lead by 6 points. And Paul Roos has certainly quite a few friends in the box as Hawthorn bring this one in.
What about some of the midfield matchups, Steve?
Yeah, well, Crouch is actually tagging Crawford. Of course, Crouch playing his 100th game today.
And they made a bit of a meal of that. And the ball over the line.
Vandenberg with Kelly.
Adam Goods actually up the other end, playing centre-half back. I suppose we'd call, if there is such a thing as centre-half back or centre-half forward. Nick Holland there for the Hawks.
So they're still deep in attack. And that's a free kick, and it's a Sydney free kick. So Barry Hall going to get a chance here to add to his total.
Why would Sean Wren be wrestling? Clearly has the advantage. Now, whether there was a free there, that was definitely against Hall.
He initiated the contact, didn't he?
Well, he did well, Hall, because he worked to get front position. He knows he had to do that, and obviously ended up getting the free kick.
Kicked 6 goals, 3 last week, Barry Hall. 41 for the year. Sorry,
Sean Wren's better playing off Hall, because Hall will wrestle him, because that's the only way he can combat him. Better playing off him and running to the ball, boundary throwing.
Well, they needed a goal there, and there was no worries about that. Barry Hall able to provide. So Hall levelling the scores at the MCG.
Super kick there by Barry Hall. Tough conditions, but always nice to get a goal early, playing as a full forward. And as we saw there, he got in front. He knows he can't jump with Sean Wren, and was well deserved of a free kick.
So all tied up, all important game for both these teams. Sydney hitting back, Fosdyke through the middle on that left foot into the air. Already there, Barry Hall. Hay brings it down off the ground to nearly on the full. So the Hawks will take it. And Rawlings it is. Ready to bring it in. Chips in. So Hawks have it. Bruce has it. Doing a good job at the moment, Sydney forward of this ball, just picking up the Hawks, making it hard to run out, and that's where certainly Hawthorn enjoys setting up. Just over half back, comes down after knocked away from Wren. Johnson does well to Simon Cox. They're on the move now, right on through wing. Good kick, and a long way from home. Thompson back to Cox, the left footer, hands off to Cox. Fumbled it in the end, making hard work of it, overusing it. Tallis is gone.
Great tackle.
Great work from Sydney. And Dunkley comes up with it. Will hand off as he normally does.
A little bit unlucky not to get the 50.
Goods, the recipient, towards wing. Bump ball, bolted beautifully. Body in line with the ball. Fosdyke, half forward it is. O'Loughlin, well done. Rawlings, and then bombs it long. That's what they need. Cox tried to go over the top. Thompson misjudged it. Dunkley missed his mark. Chance Vandenberg. Hawthorn now. Campbell has it. Right on 50. Zero's in the goal. Dixon, well done. Well done, Benny Dixon. That's the second of the Hawks. So Campbell Brown has his first. Hawthorn had their second. And in the end, it was a good teamwork goal.
And the turn over here by Andrew Dunkley. But what terrific play by Campbell Brown. Playing it half back. He ran down the ground. And I think that might be his first goal in AFL footy, but what a super goal outside 50. And a good shepherd too by Dixon.
Actually, his second goal in AFL footy, Campbell Brown. And the Hawks 2-1-13. The Swans 1-1-7 on a windy, cold afternoon in Melbourne at the MCG. A good scrap, Doyle and Wren. And again, waiting Doyle it is, doing the good work at ground level, but couldn't find his man on the way out. Brown involved. Look at that kick. That has gone a mile in the air. Tried taking that one. Well, he did, Buchanan, but he couldn't take it. Bolton, good delivery. There was someone there. Unfortunately, there wasn't anyone on the end of it except Jonathan Hart. Johnson. And they've combined and collaborated really well there, the Hawks. Hay pumping it onto the wing, but it favours Shane Crawford's direct opponent, and that's Jared Crouch. His 100th consecutive game since he made his debut, which is a fine effort. Funny old kick on the lead coming through from Williams. Hall and now Saddington. O'Loughlin missed that shot early. Oh, and he had no idea where that one went. Oh, no. He might get another chance here, Mickey O'Loughlin. The handball was okay. Wasn't great, but his teammate was in all sorts of trouble. Excellent handball from Hodge. Had freed up Graham. He kicks to the wing. And unfortunately, just a couple of players losing their footing so far in the game. And it looks like we're going to have another ball up. No, the umpire keeping it going. Rawlings using that advantage and hitting Ben Dixon, who led well. Now, Thompson's well away here. They could get it down to him away from Dunkley. They couldn't get it in. And that would have been very disappointing for the Hawks. And the Swans trying to work it out from half-back. And what better man to run out with it than Paul Williams?
And has been busy. Hall's got it. Outside 50. It is a quick game at the moment. Both these teams doing well. Hall long. It's long. O'Loughlin lurking behind. It'll come down. Hawthorn will run it out again. Campbell Brown has had a terrific first quarter. Will run with it. He's carried it 50 metres. Boy, the speed of this game. Johnson into the middle. Danger. Not really. Reese will take it.
Good sign for both teams. Barry Hall getting into the play, and also Thompson for Hawthorn.
Hawks opening up here, Sauce. Rawlings opposite side of the ground, over the head of Adrian Cox, going in at his feet. The big man did well. Holland gave it up to Fosdyke. Matthews through the traffic. Fosdyke sits there in support. Over the head of Creswell, too slow. Vandenberg, it won't get there. Richie Vandenberg has it. 45 from goal, hugging the boundary. Let's make it 25, and let's make it a behind. It's 2-2-14 Hawks. Sydney 1-1-7, 13 in first quarter, Sauce.
Stakes, what does he do there? Does he have a shot at goal, or does he square it up towards the middle?
Asking the wrong goal.
Have a shot.
No, look, he was only 20 from goal, and centering it, I suppose there was just a clump of players. So in the end, go for it. It becomes a bonus goal if able to make good.
So Kelly kicking in, but it was Holland returning to some marking form for the Hawks.
Isn't he so important to Hawthorn's chances? He's another player that's certainly had a down year.
Well, way back in round 5, Nick Holland had 11 marks, but he's had a pretty dry old year other than that. Good spoil. He's had lots of injury problems, of course. Dixon gets his chance now, and he almost took it. Kept it alive at least. Crawford off the left. It looked awkward, but it was pretty accurate, as close as you could get without being a goal. Now behind to the Hawks takes them to 2-3, and the Swans are 1-1.
Pretty good attempt there by Crawford, but what about the evasive skills by Dixon on that occasion? Brought 2 or 3 players and was able to release the hands out to Crawford, which enabled him to have a shot at goal.
Well, I suppose under the condition, the football smarts will certainly come to the top in any game of football. Williams brings it in. Cox there for the Hawks. Let it go out, although he kicked to himself, didn't he? So wouldn't be a Hawthorn free. Barlow has it. In short, good kick. Johnson will take it. He can go to Nathan Thompson. He's on the opposite side. He spots him now. The sit with Thompson. He's got it. No, dropped it on the way down. So starting to lose it. Chick did beautifully. First touch for he. Tallis. And that's 2 behind to Reagan Tallis. And more importantly, getting himself in a scoring position. And at the moment, all the scoring with the Hawks. It's 2-4-16. Sydney 1-1-7.
And it's what the Hawks have to do, Dave. So they've got to get the ball in very quickly to their toes, or they've got to keep providing that option and get that shorter kick inside their 50.
Been very good with a loose ball inside 50 at the moment.
Big thumping kick, but it's all Hawks at the back of the pack. Well, Brown having a fight with Cox over it, such was their desperation. Crawford was patient. Brown, oh, what was that for a look-away handball back to the skipper. Oh. Set up Sean Wren, though. Good desperation by the Swans, and they're going to win the footy here. Thumping it forward, Graham on the end of it.
Well done, Graham.
O'Loughlin was waiting for the spoils at the back. Vandenberg out to Cox. Good delivery.
Tallis is member side.
Going shorter than that. Graham kept on running.
Greatest did Graydon tell us he's getting a free.
Yeah.
It actually was protecting Graham.
Now Graham gets it anyway and goes in very short to Barlow. He presented well.
Just good use of the ball at the moment from Hawthorn. And kicking it from 50 will always be difficult here with the windy conditions, because it means we're going for distance and we have to get the ball in the air, and naturally the wind ends up taking control of the football.
Barlow's kicked 13 goals, 7 for the year. He's right at the edge of his distance there. Doesn't try and take it. Thompson's still lurking, but had lots of big swans to beat. Kelly from the Saddington handball. And now this is Fosdyke across half-back. Swans trying to get some run. Williams takes it. And takes it well at half-back, but he's been held up successfully. He started pretty well, Williams.
Four possessions.
And gets them going again through the middle using Saddington, who was in slashing form last week. Again, a fairly short kick to a contest, and Hawthorn has been unable to win the one-on-one so far.
Nick Reese didn't have that ball. Unlucky not to get a free kick. Michael Lachlan play retarding he. So ball magnets, all Hawthorn at the moment. So that's the best indicator. That's why they lead by 9 points through the traffic. Next does well, trying to put it out in front of his teammate. Kelly took front position. Vandenberg gave it up, and Kelly finds the boundary. So good pressure.
And smart play, just keeping the ball inside the 50.
And they're pushing them wide at the moment, Hawthorn. So they're certainly having players in the midfield, which means Sydney have to go out wide looking for a teammate. They've got it to win in 35 a goal. Sean Wren and Hall. Wren front position. Did well. So Sydney will concede as long as Wren gets back and Hall does the ruck work. Barry there for Sydney. Barlow for the Hawks. And we have a boundary throw in. Half forward. Outer side of the ground, Sydney into attack.
So the Hawks 2-4, the Swans 1-1, and we can see the Hawks edge there in contested possessions at this stage.
27-17. You can understand why they're in front. All important stat in football.
Wren and Mott. Good work from Wren. Cox at the back. Again, another turnover, though, giving the opposition a chance. Barry, he just took one step too many. And that can be costly, especially when Crawford takes it. And they've just combined nicely. Vandenberg run down. You don't see that too often with his pace. Saddington had to work hard. He did work hard. Holler to the line, not quite over, but the Swans always have the extra number. Woods backs himself in, and his delivery was excellent to Captain Kelly. And as you can see, his marking skills weren't quite up to on that occasion. But his strength, yeah, just so strong. And nothing to go to here for good. So that's why he handballed. They've held it up pretty well. Fixed up through the middle, a couple of options. Gee, scrappy work by the Swans. Nicks. Suddenly there's a gaping hole across the ground, but he doesn't use it at all. Straight to Simon Cox. And once again, the Hawks have the chance to hurt them on the rebound. I guess this wind, it's easy for us to stand back here and comment on it, but it must be tough for them. Barlow, hard for Thompson. Was that a free kick? It looked like it could have been. Dunkley, he's fantastic at being on the right. Yeah, he does. Doesn't mind getting a free kick himself either, Dunkley, does he? And now, once again, the Swans can run off half-back, but once again, they're held up in their travels straight away.
Well, great pressure at the moment, and certainly Sydney helping the Hawks in
With their clangers, really, Dakes. Their disposal has been great. They've already had 11 clangers to date, but the wind conditions are terribly difficult.
So smack bang in the middle. Wren and Mott comes down, chick around. Campbell, who took a bounce, asked for a lot, he's gone. Why he took the bounce, he didn't need to, Campbell Brown. Should have gone straight at the goals. And not forgetting that Sydney, I think, and we'll go down to Jared in a minute, have the advantage of probably a 2-goal breeze at the moment. Matthews and Goods, again, very wide Sydney. Handballs, Saddington, boundary.
Steve, Paul Williams has been a key playmaker for them in the last few weeks.
Yes, young Johnson's doing a pretty good job on him to date. Williams only having the 4 possessions, and Johnson's had 6.
Do you think you can go with him, Johnson, for the day?
I haven't seen much of Johnson, to be honest, but certainly he's doing a pretty good job today.
On the full from Vandenberg. He's looking for Dixon, and Fixter will come up with it for Sydney. The other Nick Roos is picking up Darren Creswell, so important to Sydney's chances.
And Johnny Barker's just come onto the ground, and he's going to the half-back line.
Yeah, double change. So with Johnson off, looks like they're going to double team Williams for the day. Swans into attack. We'll see who's on him in a moment. But Crawford, meantime, using Cox on the way out. Again,
no one.
The disposal of both teams. And I'm sure was going for the boundary line if he was going anywhere. And the marking as well. We've seen lots of drop marks. Now, Fixter, let's see how his delivery is. He just pumped it in there long. Goods at the back was circling. Did well to get there. Caused the contest. Barker now. Trouble. Ground level. Look at Crawford. Escaping through the middle. Barlow. Crawford's still there. The Swans defence standing firm again.
Did well, Barry.
Yeah. Nick's on the way out. Now there's a chance. Ricky Mott, who came on for Doyle, doesn't hurry it. He wanted to give it off. That's why. Fosdyke. Spoil again was effective. Hodge towards the boundary line. Will this one go out? Green pursuing it. Happy to see it out.
At the moment, Hawthorn having it all their own way, certainly defensively, and that's where they're setting up at the moment.
They are, Dates, but both sides actually doing very well to go down and support their defence, and it's why it's making it very difficult for both teams to actually score.
Well, disposals for a goal. Understandable. Sydney overuse of the ball clearly. I think Hawthorn just a little bit more direct and certainly going in a bit deep as Ricky Mott comes off blood rule. And Doyle, Stephen Doyle with Mott coming off, pushes to contest against Wren on this ball up.
And Shane Crawford has certainly had an impact, hasn't he, in the last few minutes.
And very dangerous on that last occasion. Had he have got his hands on the ball, Hawthorn were away clearly.
So it's going to be a lot today about using the ball well. Whichever team can be more effective in that area should win game.
Johnny Barker has actually gone up to the Hawthorn half-forward line, and Sennington has picked him up.
2-4 Hawthorn. Sydney 1-1-7. About halfway, or a little bit further than halfway through this opening term. Crouch going for the boundary line. Possessions can become, individual possessions can become a bit meaningless on a day like today, I guess, can't they?
Well, I think in Sydney's case, yes, because we may have mentioned their willingness to just chip it around. Certainly Hawthorn have been a lot better by hand and foot at the moment.
Mitchell, who's just come on the ground the last few minutes. Cox, highest possession winner on the ground so far with 8. Barker. He kept on going, Barker, but he had no support. Thompson had waited back and was hoping that Barker could win the ball and get it over the top to him.
He just has to watch that, Dunkley, because Thompson's done that on a couple of occasions where Dunkley has been drawn up to the ball and Thompson has doubled back.
2-4 to 1-7, 1-1-7 still. 24 minutes have elapsed in this opening term from the MCG. Doyle. And again, enormous numbers around the ball. Kennelly wanted the boundary line, and that's what he got. Mott getting some treatment down there.
Just very good at the moment at winning that ball at ground level. Hawthorn certainly getting numbers, and their ability to find someone under pressure certainly has stood out. 6 scoring shots playing 2, 24.5 minutes first quarter. So Thompson, Doyle front, players wrestled, both will nullify. Thompson did beautifully, slap it back. Barker head over the ball. Barker's back in there for a second bite, and that's the only way he will play himself back into some form. Much needed form at that. Daniel Chick is the other player, Sauce, who
only had the 1 disposal
I
today.
agree with the ball in their back line. They're using it so well, possibly pushing back into a defensive type role, get a little bit of the ball. So on wing now, Keneally does well. Over the top, Bolton, half forward, he's run down, just got his boot to it. O'Loughlin sat there, loose ball.
Free kick.
No, it's a free. So he did well to get into the air, shielding the ball, and it's advantage for a point.
Should that be brought back, Dates?
Well, in this case, yes. But again, running into an open goal, that ball should have been buried. Rawlings will bring it in, and Sydney again, skill letting them down. Cox provides the lead. That's where Tallis goes, and Cox at half-back will mark. So Simon Cox has certainly been a player getting a lot of the ball.
8 possessions.
Yep, excellent. Adrian Cox, 8 possessions also, so they lead the possession gatherers for the Hawks. And for Sydney at the moment, Adam Good, 7, 8 each to Saddington and Fosdyke. So off half back. Hodge, well done, kicking off the ground, Crouch, loose ball, well done Hodge again, on long. Crawford's there in a support role. Graham sees him and gives it to him, tries to draw, has a play now, run down in the end, Hodge. Chick needs a touch, needs to get into the game. Thompson through the pack of plays, he dropped it in the end, notices the umpire, players in there, Dunkley does well to go to the boundary and then sitting out there and waiting. Stevens looks up, chips up, and Bolton will take it. So Sydney with a chance to move forward and score.
Goods taking it cleanly. He waited till an option was provided. Hall, there's a Swans player on his own in the goal square. That's Doyle. They couldn't get it to him. And the Hawks had numbers everywhere. Now they've got the chance through the middle. Mitchell had Mott to take on. He did that successfully enough. Green gets it in there with a new haircut. What a kick! Thompson finally gets his chance to have a clean shot at goal.
Well, again, that loose ball out of defence, that's where Hawthorn, at the moment, haven't been able to put it on the scoreboard, but out of defence, Sauce, just too easy and working it well.
And they are, and they look most dangerous when they run the ball through the middle of the ground, and that's what they did on that occasion.
So Thompson, after his much celebrated return last week, with 7 goals with Dillila, to kick truly here, he's gone underneath it. It's not going to make it, amazingly enough, and hits the post. So I wonder what that tells us about the win. 2-5 Hawthorn, 1-2 for the Sydney Swans. We're getting closer to quarter time.
So playing on is Matty Nix. They certainly need some run, and again the ball ends up wide and given up again. Thompson hands off to Cox, leading the possession gatherers into the pocket. Dixon on it.
The Swans have had some trouble on actually getting the ball out from their kicking stakes. The last 3 or 4 occasions they've found it very, very difficult.
So when you talk difficult, you talk this kick. Ben Dixon, wrong side of the ground for a left footer. Starts inside the boundary. They lead at the moment by 9 points. 7 scoring shots in the first quarter. They've clearly dominated. And Dixon. Oh, no.
Super goal.
It's a goal. And a beauty at that. Ben Dixon has his first. And just reward for the Hawks because they had a terrific first quarter. They now lead by 15 at 3-5-23 at quarter time.
It's going up in the square. Burnahan. The siren has sounded at VFL Park, and he's put it right through the centre.
But he has to score to win the game for the Blues. And he misses. It's out of bounds. It's a draw. Oh, Burnahan plays on. He bends it back and sticks it. He's got his first.
Classic Quarters, all summer on Fox Footy Channel.
Turning 10 means a big deal.
And to celebrate our 10th birthday, have we got a big digital deal for you?
Very big.
There's never been a better time to experience the big movies for the first time on Australian television.
Now that's something to party about.
Call your service provider today or visit the website to find out more about this big digital upgrade offer. Hurry, as offer ends December 17.
This Christmas is going to be big. Bigger than anything you've ever seen. The Comedy Channel's Christmas Family Guy-a-thon.
Oh yeah, that's the good stuff.
The biggest Family Guy marathon Australia has ever seen.
The devil are you talking about?
3 days of Family Guy episodes back to back.
Hey, maybe we should set him up with another lemon snow cone, huh?
Oh, thanks. The last one you gave me didn't taste like lemon at all. It tasted like... Oh, you guys are asses.
It's bigger than the queue for stuffing at the Christmas table. The Comedy Channel's Christmas Family Guy-a-thon.
Pete, why don't you take Stewie to see Santa?
Change me. I've leaked through my ski pants and I won't face him wet.
Switch on to the Comedy Channel, hide the sherry and the remote from Nana, and tune in for a Family Guy marathon. Get your family to spend some time with our family. The Christmas Family Guy-a-thon starts Christmas Eve from 12 on the Comedy Channel.
The drama Australia's been waiting for. AFI award-winning Love My Way. 2006 on W.
Remember 1981?
What a goal! I think he might have put that through for a point.
1981. Just 1 year in the Fox Footy archive, playing all summer on Fox Footy Channel.
You can tell any kick that's not hit properly does tend to float. Hawthorn might be kicking with about a 2-goal win in this quarter, we think.
So a tough day for the players and for boundary riders as the second quarter gets underway from the MCG and Crouch, who's got the job on Shane Crawford today. We'll get your opinion on how that one's going. Steve, so far?
Well, Crawford getting a little bit of the ball, but they're probably pretty even thus far. But Crouch's job is to cut Shane Crawford out of the game, so we'd like to tighten up a little bit.
Crawford has certainly set the Hawks up. His use by hand excellent at the moment.
So, again, the Swans getting a chance early in the quarter, but Paul had no one around him, no space to work in, or Crawford looked like it hurt his ankle there for a moment. Umpire letting it flow. It's a pretty scrappy game of footy at the moment.
Well, just with the tackle count, Sydney have had 14, Hawthorn 7. Just see Shane Crawford, as you said, just hurting his ankle there.
There was some doubt on him during the week with some what was expected to be some rib problems. Here's O'Loughlin just trying to find the space, and he just couldn't quite affect the kick. And go is what the Hawks will do here. Loney introduced into the game. His first possession coming up. We know how damaging he can be with those lovely, long, flourishing left footers, or the short ones. Usually finds his target.
Daniel Chick and Paul Kelly opposed to each other, so that should be interesting.
Sean Wren.
Well, they haven't got a marking option. Their only marking option on that wing position is Simon Cox.
He had to go short. And now Loney. And on the overlap, Hay. He's got no one near him. Hall's on the other side of the ground. And we know how Johnny Hay likes to carry the footy through the middle. Oh, good hands from Rees. Just couldn't take it, Hay, but he kept on going. Blasting it away into the open. Swans had the numbers, but none of them went for the footy. Daniel Chick certainly did. And once again, a lot of players around the ball and the ball up.
Every time Jonathan Hay comes up the ground for Hawthorn, they certainly have a play they can use. If they're able to plonk it into half forward, hold it up and get Johnny Hay to reposition himself, because Barry Hall is actually sitting back, actually allowing Jonathan Hay to run. So Crawford, Johnson for the Hawks, tries to spear Dixon, one hand to it, took the sting off. Barry met beautifully by Dixon. Paul Kelly off half back. So the skipper sends Sydney into attack. Big ask of Nicks. Tallis had to sit over the back Wren, over the top, and the big man Loney getting early touches to Tallis. Hawthorn, shocking kick in the end. The skipper has another into half forward. Wren sitting back, read it beautifully, timed it well, took the mark.
They need to start presenting the Sydney forwards. They're just finding it very tough, difficult to get a mark inside their 50.
Doing well at the moment, Sean Wren.
So the Swans have been able to hold the Hawks up, though. It's, I guess, one thing in their favour, because we know how the Hawks love to run from half-back, and they can open the game up. Crouch battling on against Crawford. Fosdyke. Johnson.
Well done.
Been impressive.
Thompson got to the front. He read it beautifully. Dunkley able to affect the spoil. Kelly needed some support and got it. Matthews out wide. Bit of space for Ricky Mott to work in here. Can he hit a target down the ground? Hall leads, but lots of Hawthorn players around him. He'll get a chance here. Got to go over Wren and Hay. And once again, numbers winning out, and the frustration's starting to show from Barry Hall. Hay's delivery excellent. Cox.
The thing is, he's competing with two guys. Sean Wren is dropping back.
Saddington did well that time. Crawford kept on running as he always does. Holland fixed that. It was a good, delicate little tap. Tailored nicely for here for Matthews to run. And once again, nowhere to go. He's going to go for the boundary line here for Bolton, but I guess he was hoping the ball could get over the line. Now Paul's going to give him a free.
Yeah. Making hard work of it at the moment. Certainly slow getting it in, allowing the Hawks to drop back, in particular Sean Wren.
Now we've got a one-on-one. O'Loughlin read it well. He read it really well. Couldn't take it, as it turns out. He persisted, though, O'Loughlin, and created the opportunity. Doyle.
Wrong man.
Yeah, it wasn't a great man to lay it off to, was it, as it turns out. And once again, the Hawks, although they're not out of trouble yet, Kennelly kept it alive. Oh, Wren, that was very deft. And now Tallis and the Hawks through centre half back are away.
Rees under pressure, good pressure. Bolton took it in the end, in long. Goods, Lachlan. Goods open goal. Along the ground, or very close to it. It's a goal. Goods has his first. So they made hard work of it, and in the end it was the pressure with the ball ending up with Bolton. It was the pressure on Tallis. Well, it was Nick Rees. Good pressure. Ricky Mott, the big man. Bolton able to pump it back into the forward line. O'Loughlin just took the sting off. Goods. No one home. Good goal.
And as you mentioned, Dates, the pressure by Ricky Mott there was exceptional to be able to tackle.
So the Swans get an important goal here at the MCG. And once again, it's a good scrap. 3-5 playing 2-2. Decisive tap from Mott, and Bolt suddenly a bit of momentum for the Swans. The releasing handball missed the target though. Vandenberg, Crouch, no one could handle it. Too hot to handle in the middle of the ground. Wren, Cox, and now it opens up. Crawford was clever. Chick, well done. He was legged. Kelly, no, he wasn't legged according to the umpire.
Kelly's hurt behind, or was hurt.
Matthews, now there's a couple of Swans here. Mott. He wanted to get it moving quickly, but didn't really have anywhere to go. Gives Goods a one-on-one chance again with Nathan Lane. You would have thought he was too strong for him, Adam Goods. Can he use it at ground level? Adam Goods. And he just dropped the ball, really let it go. And the Hawks wanted it. And Jonathan Hayes is emerging with it. And now giving Wren the chance, who's had so many possessions. Deep in the 50, he's gone. Didn't quite have the awareness there. Doyle, the tackler, he's going to be rewarded.
Well, he will be rewarded. The reward came in the last goal to Goods with pressure inside 50, and now Doyle doing the same thing. And Sean Wren certainly has been a good player, and I suppose Paul Roos has pinpointed Wren for a lot of attention.
Really, it's been the story of the day. A lot of pressure out there, and you just have to be able to get the ball to your boot pretty quickly, particularly in your back half.
We'll get an update from Gerard on Paul Kelly in a moment, but more importantly for the Swans immediately, at least Doyle's kick. It moved around in the wind a lot, and the result is just a behind. But the Swans right back in this game, right back in the contest. Let's get to Gerard for that update.
Hutto, Paul Kelly seemed to be feeling for his right wrist. There were a couple of trainers out with him and the doctor as well. He's convinced them that he is okay to go on, but it certainly happened when Dates called it on the half-back flank for Sydney, so we'll just keep an eye on Paul Kelly.
So the Hawks will bring it in through Tallis. Kick to himself, then ran into a wall, brick wall by the name of Barry Hall. Out wide Rawlings, Wren's there, allows Graham to run into it. So he ran with the flight. Pressure certainly coming on the Hawks now, not as easy as it was a little bit earlier. Well done, Nick Holland. Call the play on. Second bite had it. Creswell, who has been quiet, making sure. Nick Holland going nowhere, and we have right on that wing position out of side, as I think Crawford may...
Good decision there by the umpire. Ricky Mott definitely got a fist to it.
Thought there may have been a blood rule, but no. End up with a ball up. So Sydney, as mentioned by Hutto, just working their way back in. Holland took it out beautifully. On to Vandenberg, over the top. Cox, it sits up. He has it now in the second bite. Then went backwards again. Vandenberg, the provider, in long. We need a marking option. Thompson brings it down. Sydney have numbers there. Fosdyke did well. Didn't have it in the end. Then goes back in again. A lot of pressure at the moment. Well done, Nick Fosdyke. Did it well, pushed it wide. And breathing space now for Sydney, because it's 30 from the Hawthorn goal. Boundary throw-in.
Player rankings, Vandenberg on top.
That's certainly changing. Chopping and changing at the moment. Holland led at a quarter time. Vandenberg, so Hawks still have some representatives there. Crawford, or Johnson it was. Kelly mopping up. Hands off Keneally to Ricky Mott, who's done a lot of the kicking back in the forward line. Loose ball, Bolton keeps it in front of himself, then runs. Did beautifully to run Hodge onto the ball, then Goods into the middle. Keneally will run now. This is better from Sydney, and into the middle of the ground. Opens up space forward. He goes in long. Trying to mark was Nix. At ground level, Doyle. He'll take it. Sydney with numbers. Williams fell over. Nix, if he's good enough, has a player in the goal square. Can't get it clear. And we end up with a ball up about 15 from the Sydney goal. Just interesting. I suppose in the conditions, just so important that as a forward, if you have Barry Hall or either Nathan Thompson running onto the ball, that you actually follow the lead in, because a lot of the times the ball will sail over the top.
Cox able to emerge and dart away, and his kick was very good for Campbell Brown. Linking up nicely with Reeves through the middle. Loves to handball, not kick quite as often. This time his kick was excellent though, it was really good. And Chick taking the mark. Well, a new haircut last week for Daniel Chick.
Well, it seems to be working. Had a bit of the ball last week, but wouldn't Peter Schwab love this player to start coming into his own? Campbell off for the Hawks, Barker back on.
Well, it's a big kick this for the Hawks because the Swans had been working their way back into the game, and a good result for Daniel Chick. He tries to get it pumped up with that goal. Daniel Chick's first of the afternoon. Hawthorn 4-5-29. Sydney 2-3-15.
And only his fourth possession for the game, but what a goal at a crucial time. They struggled to kick goals today, both sides, but to kick that one outside 50 was very well done.
Beautiful kick, beautiful supply in the end. So it's a 14-point lead to the Hawks. 29 playing 15. Wren will slap it forward. Well done. Barry cut it off for Sydney. Out wide again. Williams allows it to run. Johnson goes in to confront him. Oh, Creswell and Williams overran it. Johnson did beautifully. Left foot up by Reese. Finds his mark in Johnny Barker. Barker into Thompson. Not able to mark it at ground level again. Chick starting to try and find her on the full. Dunkley. No. Certainly came off his boot. Hit the line before it went over. Daniel Chick arguing the case. Actually saying possibly being kicked in danger. So a chance again for the Hawks. Thompson will contest. Ball slapped forward. Goods has a little bit of time. Cross goal. Who do we kick it to? Danger. Adrian Cox. Easy.
And that's the value of Daniel Chick. His chase was exceptional on Goods, which caused that turnover.
Well, that was amazing football, and I suppose not having an option further up the ground, what he should have done was just gone out wide, kicked it towards the boundary, and he actually kicked it. He centred that ball.
He did, yeah.
The way he held it. So Adrian Cox, talk about birthdays. That is a birthday present. It's a goal. And in the context of this game, when nothing is really much given away, Adam Goods disappointing with this one. Adrian Cox able to finish for the Hawks.
And really, he didn't help himself, Dates. He didn't get the ball and take off and buy a bit of time for himself.
He wasn't a player in a hurry, was he?
So consecutive goals for the Hawks really helped their cause because the Swans look to be getting on top. Crouch out of the middle. One-on-one Brockman just introduced into the game. Rawlings able to make the spoil. This is Fosdyke, who we noted earlier, been really busy and working hard for the Swans. O'Loughlin, Graham, still his opponent. Oh, O'Loughlin just gives us a glimpse of his magical skills. Vandenberg just desperately trying to get it over the line.
Did it well. Disguised it pretty well. Richard Vandenberg.
Great urgency from Richie Vandenberg. 10 touches in total to Vandenberg.
Swans in attack, but Wren. Now Hodge. Adam Goods. Trying to make up for that last error.
That's better.
Pumping it in there quickly. Lots of Hawks. Kelly attacked it. Chick. Releasing handball made it tough for Cox, but he did well. And look at the run and the dash. Again shown by Hay.
Give it back to him.
Johnson waited until he gave it back to him. And he can go again, Hay. Tallis, Johnson, perhaps just over-possessing it slightly there, the Hawks.
But has been good, Johnson.
Oh, he's been excellent. He's really quelled Williams at this stage. And now, Dunkley getting it forward. There's a free kick, though. It's going to come back. No advantage paid. It's a Swans ball, Williams, and it's going to Paul Williams, who's had just 5 possessions so far.
In the last 5 weeks, Paul Williams has been fantastic for the Swans. He's had 22 possessions or more in every game. Nicks, one-on-one in the square. The big man's in front, Doyle, but couldn't take it. And Hay takes the safe option. Nothing wrong with that. No, nothing wrong at all. Swans 2-4, Hawks 5-5.
They do support each other very well, the Hawthorn defenders. Hay on that occasion got back and supported and was able to clean the crumbs up and put it through for a rush behind.
It's been an excellent player, Jonathan Hay. Rawlings to bring it in, though. And a lot of options. Kicks to himself and moves off. Out of side we go. Sean Wren there, just running into the back of Goods. And, oh, no. Now, why would that have been a free? Goods has got his eyes on the ball. Wren runs into the back of him. Why does Wren end up with it?
That's on 15, is it?
So Hodge runs off far too easy. Graham forward a wing now. Watch out. Chance Buchanan comes in too late. In long. Good use. Thompson not able to mark. Benny Dixon overran it. Left it behind. Leo Barry to mop up. Hands off to Saddington. Hands off to Fosdyke. Off half back. Where do we go? He's gone. And they can run it away now. Nick Bruce with a chance into the pocket. Dixon. It's got it. So they're just inside 50. If he's quick enough, Simon Cox is in the opposite forward pocket. He'll lead now. That's where he goes, and Cox has got it. So he came from the opposite forward pocket, got lost in the traffic coming across goal, and now another opportunity for Hawthorn.
And if they kick this, Hawthorn, the last 2 goals would have been resulted by Daniel Chick's hard chase, and his tackle was exceptional on that occasion also.
So again, this could be the second goal Sydney have given up. Fosdyke not getting it on, and Cox will kick a goal. That's his first. And he's had a pretty good game, Simon Cox, as Hawthorn's starting to take hold of this game with a 25-point lead. Hawks 41, Sydney at the moment looking in big danger. They're 16. Great run down, great work from the Hawks. And Dixon waited, patient, and good supply in the end.
So the Hawks 6-5. They kicked the last 3 goals. And right on top here, they kicked the last 4 goals at the MCG. And we've got a secondary ball up.
Peter Schwab's actually put Nick Holland into the ruck. Sean Wren's actually having a rest off the ground at the moment.
Would you push Barry Hall further up the ground now? I mean, they're not getting it to the goal square. Plus, it really constricts him because I suppose Jonathan Hay has the luxury of having the goals to be able to push it through in the boundary.
Well, really, it's been the delivery which hasn't quite got to Barry Hall.
Hasn't been too many leads and marks, has there, for the Swans. He had a chance. They're stolen by his teammate, O'Loughlin. Poor old Barry, not his day at the moment, but a good grab from Michael O'Loughlin.
Well, that's always going to happen. Barry Hall was already there, was basically waiting for the ball to get there. Michael O'Loughlin with that run at the ball. So he did beautifully in the end.
He did well, and you'd think if Barry Hall was going to beat Jonathan Hay, it would be with strength. So maybe it's an option not to quite lead that often and try and outbody him with his body strength.
Well, he missed a big one early in the day. Michael O'Loughlin desperately needs to kick a goal, and he has for the Swans. That's their 3rd. So Michael O'Loughlin kicks his first for the day. And the Swans 3-4, the Hawks 6-5 at the MCG.
And probably just hasn't done quite enough to really put an influence on this game thus far, Michael O'Loughlin, but he is one player that the Swans do need to kick some goals and also create goals up in their forward 50. Super mark, though.
What a player. So it's back to 19 points. Doyle does well. So not clearly getting the hand of the ball. Then goes back in. So the big man did beautifully, showing his ground level players how it's done. Barry off half back. So Leo Barry into half forward. Well done. The only player that wanted it was this man, Paul Kelly, who ran into the ball, took a chest mark, calling for 50. Leighton Tallis on the mark. A little bit better now. They'll pump it in long. So trying to be a bit more direct. Nick Holland underneath it. O'Loughlin gives a contest. So Graham into the middle. Well done, Doyle. Good positioning. Sat back. Will take a mark. So Sydney ready to move it back in as Nick Holland playing that loose player in the corridor. Out wide. Good kick from the big man. Hall or mark. So probably too far out to score. They'll have to kick this from 60, and when you consider the conditions...
Should drop short, Dakes, right into the wind.
So he goes long, it's long, and just not long enough, and the Hawks will rush it through for a minor score. 3-5-23 Sydney, 6-5-41 Hawthorn. It's back to 18 points, just over 20 minutes second quarter.
Luke Ablett on the ground for the Swans. Creswell's been off, he's ready to come back on. Well-placed kick in, Adrian Cox. Been very busy today. Possession number 13 coming up. Equal with Johnson as the highest possession winner on the ground. And this man, Simon Cox, joins them also with 13. Cross half back. Hodge getting them going, getting it in deep. Thompson again the target. Dixon had hit the ground, fixed it, attacked it pretty well. And kept on going. Vandenberg, good with the tackling. Did well there.
And that's the point I make about just going in long, getting it inside 50 will always be a scrap, and in the end Hawthorn have another bite at this. They're getting numbers, repositioning themselves, and they've got it to within 40 metres of goal.
Well, Hawthorn fans will be hoping Nathan Thompson's okay. Mitchell well tackled. Green. So the Swans just applying some pressure here with some good tackling. No, the umpire said it wasn't good. Tackle without the footy.
Yep.
Number one in the league for tackles, the Swans.
Now Rawlings, no, you missed Rawlings. No, Rawlings could be still used by Dixon.
Dixon, yeah, this is Rawlings on the end. Thompson leads to the left. Rawlings almost within range. Spots up, Barker. Great lead. And more importantly, terrific kick off the left from Jade Rawlings.
Now to be interesting to see Sauce, who is actually picking up Rawlings, because he was allowed to run. Actually, whoever is playing on Rawlings is actually sitting in defence for Sydney looking for that easy kick.
He did pretty well here. Everyone led over to one side, but he was able to be able to turn onto his left foot, and he was able just to pop it in for Barker to mark.
And he's converted. So Barker joins the list of goal kickers for the Hawks. 7-5-47 to 3-5-23 at the MCG. We're getting close to half-time.
So Johnny Barker, as you may mention, in the end, their positioning pretty good with their delivery in. Beautiful kick, non-dominant side from Rawlings. Great supply, and Barker finishing. So it's back to an even 4 goals. 23 minutes as half-time approaches. Doyle slaps it down. Creswell being quiet. Crouch out of the middle. Sydney into attack. Rawlings got his fist to it, did well. Cox, Adrian on that left foot. Chick, trip, no. Yes, he has. Green will move on. Advantage, it'll bounce just as it gets inside 50 and over the line. So Hawthorn with another scoring opportunity. And they've been pretty good, Sauce, at these type of situations of being able to conjure up a player inside 50 as Daniel Chick, although the stat sheet won't show it, has certainly put himself in. So he's third man up in that contest. It's just outside 50 now. Boundary throw in again. So Sydney just pushing it away, further away from Hawthorn's goal.
They're pretty dangerous in this position, Dakes, the Hawks. They will work for each other around the throw-ins and create blocks to enable players to run through and have a shot at goal.
So Hawthorn able to dominate the marks in this quarter, clearly. It's one of the reasons they're 4 goals up. Creswell, and that's probably non-practice because he hasn't had a lot of the ball. Barker moves it in quick. Barlow will jump. Good sandwich in the end. This guy is courage personified, Leo Barry. Not forgetting that serious injury that he sustained in the early part of the year, so he's done well to get himself back, and Sydney ready to move into attack.
O'Loughlin comes down from the forward line to provide an option on the way out. Has to go one-on-one. Graham just loves that sort of stuff.
Boy, it's hard. Michael O'Loughlin, virtually at half-back, looking to be in a support type role, now having to head back, so pretty hard trying to play a role inside Sydney's forward line at the moment.
Barker, Cox. He just waited the kick for Barlow. Barry straight to the line. And again, we're going to see a throw in. So the Swans in this quarter have kicked 2 goals 3. The Hawks, from their 4 marks inside 50 in the quarter, have managed to kick 4 straight goals, 24. So they're well on top here, leading by 4 goals. In the last 3 minutes, the Swans really love to get one before half-time goods. Matthews and Green went to ground. Barlow, Mitchell, good tackling. Adrian Cox to the square, almost. Dunkley was very hard at the ball and at Thompson.
Thompson should have got a free on that occasion. I think pretty crude in the end from Andrew Dunkley.
The umpire having words to him, but not penalising him at all. And Williams to kick in for the Swans.
So Williams to bring it in. Went fairly quiet, Paul Williams, and I say that because certainly one of the keys to his game is the ability to carry the ball, and Sydney, that's what they're lacking at the moment. Creswell out wide, fairly quiet. Goods not able to mark it. Hawthorn doing enough, trying to find a boundary. Kelly did well to keep it in, then chipped it over the top. On the move now is Keneally on that true wing. If they lose possession here, danger. Graham will mark. They can move it off. He missed Rawlings in the end, then got a second bite. So Rawlings with a bit of time. Out in front of Adrian Cox. Oh, Crawford and Cox colliding. So allows Crouch to come in with time. O'Loughlin can go over the top. Buchanan, no, decides to move into the pocket. Big ask of Hall. And he had to contend against 2 Hawks. Graham and Jonathan Hayes sitting back.
They just
and
need
the boundary wins out.
The Swans just need to do something about that loose Hawthorn player sitting back there. He's just getting across to be able to support his fellow defenders. We saw that collision there. Lack of talk maybe on that occasion.
Yeah, Crawford should have caught Adrian Cox, who was running with the flight of the ball into a winning position there. So loose ball. Rawlings again lost it. Players tied up. Sam Mitchell is there. Creswell has had a pretty half of football, certainly pretty hard half of football. Not finding a lot of the ball. And we have a ball up. Sydney still into attack in front of the members here at the MCG. It started as a certainly overcast day. A little bit of sunshine, 3/4 of the ground at least. Ball will come down. Crouch just inside 50. Buchanan sharing it around. It's outside 50 now. And Crouch under a lot of pressure, and then slapping it over the line is Green. Not penalised in the end. And we have a boundary throwing at 60 now from Sydney's Golden Boy. 27.5 minutes into this second quarter. A goal just before half-time. Pretty crucial at the moment. They trail by 25. Fosdyke through the traffic. It's a free against Nick Holland. So Doyle hasn't done too bad since going in the middle of the ground. Creswell, Hall, bump ball, shinned it outside 50. Chick wrapped up in the end, then got it loose. Holland will go in, as always. Hall over the top. Starting to look a little bit frustrated, Barry Hall. Actually, mob tackle by 2 players in the end. Hall was there. Doyle put the body in, possibly a little bit high. A hip catching Holland. Loney with the ball.
And getting it in quickly. It's open spaces. Good spoil from Dunkley, though. Swans defence. Goods. A couple of options. This is Luke Amplet. Had fixed to by his side.
Oh, that had to be tall.
Well, it won't matter now. The siren sounding for half-time at the MCG. Good half of football for Hawthorn. Swans with a lot of work to do still.
This is very dangerous. Fox Footy Flashbacks, running all summer on Fox Footy Channel.
You know, I'm thinking get out of the movie business.
Chili Palmer is back.
Before you skate out of the business, I got a movie for you. It's about the music biz. This place is like the Wild Wild West, man. Come on, gangster rappers and Russian mafia. And it's got a girl.
There always is.
From the creators of Get Shorty.
Who are all these people trying to kill you? I don't know. But I'm in the music business now. It could be anybody.
Uma Thurman, John Travolta, Vince Vaughn, Cedric the Entertainer, The Rock,
Scorching.
and a whole lot more.
I'm not one of those singers who shows up in movies.
For the first time on Australian television.
Be cool.
Be cool.
Be Cool.
Don't tell me to be cool. I am cool.
Starts Thursday, December 15, only on Foxtel Box Office.
This Christmas, Fox Classics is forever golden.
Now it's time to find out who's naughty or nice.
With the Golden Girls Marathon.
Catch me, catch me, catch me! As long as you're in that uniform, the only thing that better be on your mind is giving people what they want for Christmas.
He was trying to,
Forever festive.
Hello there, tall, dark, and jolly.
Forever merry.
Oh, this will be the best Christmas ever.
Forever golden.
Rose, it's a beautiful blouse. Hope it's all right. Dorothy said you'd like something crotchless.
The Golden Girls Christmas Day Marathon from 6.
Ho, ho, ho.
Fox Classics.
Trailed and bounce into the pocket. Goes into the square. Lovely kick by Mitch.
Let the debate begin from the Fox Footy Vault all summer on Fox Footy Channel.
Of Shane Crawford, he's moving okay. He was under a cloud all week, and Nick Holland will start the second half on the bench.
So second half from the MCG. 7-6 plays 3-5. Out of the middle, Swans getting the first chance. Kelly gets it in there quickly. O'Loughlin again, he's lurking, he's circling, he just couldn't get there. Now they have to rely on Kennelly to use his pace, which he did really well to keep the ball alive, but this Hawthorn defence, it's pretty strong, and a little bowl too, judging by that handball. Kennelly's in a heap in the pocket, but the play goes on. And once again, the Hawthorn defence standing firm. Hay clearing it and getting it over the line.
Well done from Johnny Hay, and in the end, Adrian Cox doing or choosing the right option to go over the line.
Good play by Sydney, though. They've got to get the ball in there quickly, at least put the Hawthorn defenders under a bit of pressure.
So ball will come in, Hay over the top. Dixon, a little bit of time, had to wait, and then moves it out of the danger zone. Towards wing, Goods will slap it back. Creswell on to Williams, who lost it in the end. And we'll end up with a free. Coming back to Adam Goods. Certainly been a trier. Had a bit of the ball. Across the ground he comes. Scott Stevens. It'll bounce. Big man did well to take it, and then handballs out wide. Keneally concedes by hand backwards to Benny Matthews. Inside 50 we go. Looking for a marking option. Stevens crunched in the end. Cox at ground level. Excellent first half. Around the body, just missing a couple of players. Loose ball. Crawford dummies a handball, then wrapped up in the end. Not taken in was the Sydney player, and Adam Goods it was. So it's boundary throw in true wing. 25-point lead, as it was at half-time. Richie Vandenberg, very good in the early part of that first quarter. Probably drifted off in the second. Just so important in the conditions that the ball is used. Best example is Ben Fixter. 5 possessions to half-time, or in that second quarter, and 5 clangers, as they call it, Hutto. So
there's the Sydney bench. He's persisting with Doyle in the ruck, so Mott's down at the moment. Free kick picked out, going Hawthorn's way. Johnson's kick not great.
Oh, he's off.
He was off. Sannington, then he was shoved in the back. The umpire let it go. Barker working hard at ground level. Fixter and Sannington arguing there that, well, he didn't actually attempt to handball.
Well, the other thing is, if he was off and the tackle was late, it should have been a free kick.
Wasn't a good tackle from Barker. Just watch this.
Or in the back.
The hard work from Barker was dispossessing Saddington and nearly gave it up.
Anyway, Swans have got another chance here. Williams, Dixon, Cox, Creswell, another whistle, free kick, Hawthorn ball again. Free kick count is 10 each at the moment. The Hawks 7-6, the Swans 3-5. And Williams, that was against, I think, into Cox. And the umpire, I think, sending Paul Williams off the ground with the blood rule. And Williams having a few words to say as he leaves the arena.
Just a couple of matchups. Adam Goods and Simon Cox have lined up on each other.
Be nice to get
Thompson and Dunkley.
Be nice to get a shot as Cox comes in and kick this from behind the goals, because it give us try to get an idea of just what they're up against in the conditions. No hint there for the camera crew, Hutto. There we go.
And there's the pass. Vandenberg, he ran from a long way back to present himself. Cox was also wanting an act. Good pressure on the kick. Vandenberg, Thompson. He had his name on it, but he just couldn't get in front of Kelly, who's either hurt himself or just got the boot stuck. I think it might just be the boot getting stuck there.
Great courage from Paul Kelly.
He stood his ground in front, particularly with the bigger blokes coming from behind.
So the margin at the moment is 25 points. Kelly going short now. Creswell, who spent some time on the bench, delivers for Hall. And he just got underneath it, Barry Hall. Went a bit too far forward. The kick probably had too much on it. Brown.
Well, just reading it, and I made mention of that earlier, very hard in the conditions.
No one coming at Brown, so gives Thompson the chance, put it to his good side. But once again, the wind was a factor there, and Dunkley able to read it and spoil.
He's not scared to carry the ball, Campbell Brown. I think he's had 4 or 5 bounces today, so he's prepared to back himself.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's 5 more bounces than his dad ever took in his career. Big Mal. But he's going to be a super player, Campbell Brown. Showing a lot of confidence for a youngster.
And it was 12 months ago we saw him play in the under-18 championships on his very ground against Gary Ablett Jr. So a lot can happen in a career in 12 months.
Boy, and when you talk about each week he goes out there, he's had some decent jobs given to him. Check through the traffic. Vandenberg not able to shrug the tackle. Got it back inboard. Chance of Johnson along the ground and just to the left. 7-7-49 Hawks, 3-5-23 Sydney, 5.5 minutes third quarter.
I posed that question early, Dukes, about Vandenberg, whether he should have had a shot at goal. In the first quarter, he actually had a shot at goal. On that occasion, he centred it.
Paul Williams is normally the man to kick in for the Swans, but we saw he's sitting down at the moment with the blood rule.
He may have centred it just because he got tackled in the end. He was looking, I think, to break clear.
Matthews sets it up for Dunkley. So often the target on the kick-ins, and Dunkley, he loves to lay off the handball.
They've struggled to get some movement, the Swans. They just haven't got the run they'd hoped to have.
Well, he committed himself to moving there, and the Swans somewhat hurriedly, but effectively, as it turns out, get the ball up to the wing, and now some run provided. Fosdyke delivery was pretty good for O'Loughlin. And he's almost within range. Hard to judge from here with the wind, I guess.
Buchanan is not a bad player, and having seen the youngster over the past month, he does use it and does carry it and does use it well by hand.
Not 15. Creswell right to the line. Doyle, he's got it. For the big man who kicked 3 goals against Richmond back in round 7 and has kicked 5 for the year, has the chance here to kick his first goal of the afternoon.
Well, it was Stevens, that ball just sailing over their head. Stevens, Creswell with the supply in. Stevens coming across. And he did well in the end, Doyle, to keep his eyes on the ball. Good mark under pressure. Great timing.
The beauty of it too, Dakes, was that the ball came in quickly, which gave him a chance.
He needs to kick a goal for the Sydney Swans.
And this is not a lay-down misère either.
He must kick a goal. He does a goal. And the Swans get the first one of the second half. So the Swans 4-5-29, the Hawks are 7-7-49. That gives them a bit of hope and a bit of heart.
It does, and much better signs too. Just that passage of play from half back. They certainly ran the ball down, got the ball moving very quickly. The quick kick here by Creswell gave the opportunity for the Swans to mark deep in their attacking half.
So Stephen Doyle kicks an all-important goal, and then straight into the middle he goes. He'll contest with Wren. They get it back to within 20 points, Sydney. So still in there. 8 minutes third quarter. And again, they've controlled certainly the centre bounces. You can understand why with Doyle there. Wren actually got his hand to it. Chick wrapped up by 2 off the ground. Going down was Doyle. Hawks push it forward. Still in the middle. Well done. Great hands, Reese. To Cox to Vandenberg. Inside 50, non-dominant side. Hands back to Cox. Into Johnson. They used it well. It'll drop short. Barry, loose ball comes out. Thompson off the ground. He's got it for a goal. They get it back. And in the mad scramble, Nathan Thompson able to conjure up a goal. Good pressure, Hawks. And well-worked goal in the end, really, from just outside 50.
And that's the beauty of Hawthorn. They just keep the ball moving forward very quickly. They bashed and crashed it in the goal square area, and they got a goal out of nothing. Great effort, Thompson.
Well, very prompt answer, and it's 8-7 to 4-5 again. The margin is 26 points at the MCG. Doyle in the ruck, but the bounce and the run favouring Wren. Doyle nullified well. Bolton just jumped on top.
Oh, Nathan Thompson could go against him here, or was it Dixon? Nathan Thompson, my apologies, is back in the goal square for Hawthorn, so it was Benny Dixon.
Paul Roos in his second game as coach. Laughed during the week about how he should resign and finish with a perfect record as a coach. Might already get back to 50% by the end tonight, unless the Swans can get a move on. Chick, Vandenberg, Thompson one-on-one again with Dunkley. Well done, Dunkley. Cox, free kick. And it's a Sydney ball after the contest. Bit of hanging on. Gary's going to move it quickly, and he's got Doyle pushing wide for him. Quite precise with the kick, Fosdyke.
Just pretty predictable. They're keeping their same line. Where they win possession in defence, they actually tend to keep that line, which is making it pretty easy for the Hawks to position themselves and pick the Swans off at the moment.
And this is what the Hawks have done very well. They've slowed the Swans run out of their back half, where they've been unable to get some movement out of there.
It was a well-weighted kick, that one. Adam Goods. Ball's back in the square. Still hasn't made his lead yet. Oh, and he might get a chance to, because they've turned it over again, the Swans. Rawlings from the standing start. Campbell Brown. And once again, it's over the boundary line. 8-7 Hawthorn, 4-5 Sydney's. We look at the player rankings, which are determined by statistical things like kicks, handballs, tackles, goals, and also the effectiveness of all of those things. And Adrian Cox having a great day. 20 possessions. Brett Johnson's been terrific as well with 16, and he's at some stages at least done a pretty good shutting down role too on Paul Williams. Crawford has his 14th possession of the day. It wasn't a memorable one. Matthews, again, the working close. Let the player who got the ball under pressure, but the Swans eventually had enough of it to get it out to Doyle, but still it's a bit sloppy. Fosdyke trying to carry it and give them some drive forward. They dropped short, which was somewhat fortuitous. Scott Stevens got Kelly back in the square, gets it into him. Kelly leading out, attacking it, and all the way with Paul Kelly. Takes the mark, he leaps, and he bounds and takes it.
Well, you called it beautifully, Hutto, in the end. The ball will drop short, and Kelly coming back from the goal square, or coming out from the goal square. Bolton running back to the fly of the ball. There's players just inside 50. Bit of a melee coming up.
50.
50 against Crawford or Vandenberg, so in the end, Paul Kelly would have had to have worked for this goal, no more, and this should be a lay-down misère.
So Paul Kelly rams it through, and the Swans get their second of the quarter.
Well, not really sure what that was for or about, but more importantly, Sydney are able to add another goal. They get it back to within 20, and that's what it's all about. Scott Stevens, a provider. Kelly made the ball his own, and then was helped by a 50-metre penalty. So the sign's a lot better from Sydney.
There's a free kick, I think. Or it's a blood rule. It's a blood rule at the other end of the ground.
Barry Hall.
Well, there's a bit of aggro.
They may have to change that jumper as well. Big Barry being thrown around. He and Tallis going at it. So Raiden Tallis. Well, I think he's picking the wrong guy there. But not to be intimidated. And as Barry Hall makes his way off the ground, Matthew Nicks back on. And that's not a bad move for Sydney. Certainly the ground level type player. Matty Nicks I would like to have seen out there.
Bit of a win though for Tallis on that occasion. The fact that Barry Hall had to leave the ground with the blood rule.
Well, something different up forward. Who knows? It might work for a couple of minutes. Doyle getting them down there. We might get the chance to see how effective it is. Crawford takes it away. Wide one. Barker. Good tackling, good hands, lightning stuff. Johnson back to Crawford again, who's working really hard just to try and ensure they maintain the lead. Oh, the spoil. What was Simon Cox doing? He thought he was a defender. Now it's a Hawthorn free kick to Barker. I'm not quite sure what that was for, but obviously some sort of interference. Barker setting it up for the leading Thompson. He's out. Dunkley missed it. He missed it completely. And Thompson. And now Dunkley's going to complain here to the umpire. Think about some sort of block that he may have got back in the square. And he's still arguing the point, but Thompson will line up for goal.
Well, what I liked about Thompson's mark on this occasion as a lead-up play.
So that was the free kick. There wasn't much in that.
Thompson, in the conditions, taking 2 bites at this football, so he did well. Pretty hard to be just trying to take the ball at 1 bite.
We know last week you kicked the 7 goals. Today, just the 1. We saw that earlier in the quarter. Nathan Thompson, he's pushed it across to the right. And he lets himself down in front of goal there. So the Swans have outscored the Hawks narrowly in this quarter. They've kicked 2 straight. And the Hawks have kicked 1 goal too, as Barry Hall responding to treatment on the bench.
Just getting a little bit of makeup, Barry Hall. So they'd like to see Hall back out there as Paul Williams to bring it in. Tends to kick to himself and run off with it. Will move it in, looks for Goods and finds him. So Sydney still pretty slow in their build-up. Back to the goal square we go. And the cross goal to Matthews. Plenty of space in front of himself. Draws and then over the top. So chance now. Fixter has to use it and gives it up again. Well done in the end. Jumping in Luke Hodge. Buchanan there for Sydney. So Hodge ready to send the Hawks back into attack. Boy, he's a promising kid. Good kick, Dixon. Got there early, dropped it in the end. Keneally will run. Hands off. Buchanan. Chance for Matthews now. Sydney through the middle, trying to work. And this is a part of the ground that they have to get the ball into. Goods does well on that left foot. Crouch, it'll bounce. Still in front of himself, so he's done well. Johnson there to try and retard. Well done, Crouch. Will go at goal. It'll land in the square. Players will jump. Stevens and O'Loughlin off the ground. No, just doing well with Buchanan there for Sydney. And for the Hawks, it was rolling, so O'Loughlin probably understands a chance goes begging and probably looking for the free in the end. So they did better. Certainly the movement was better. Got it in the middle and just unable to finish off.
Straight down the middle. Just a little bit too much on. Good spoil too from Crouch. Now Buchanan, who can kick a goal, but he just couldn't take the footy with him. Williams, gang tackle. The Hawks had the numbers, and they're going to... Oh, are they going to get away? Yes, but only for the time being, because the Swans have got the numbers. If it stays in, Doyle, some good protection going on, some really heavy shepherding work. And Doyle ran around the ball. Took a long time to eventually get it. Barry, again, some hesitation from the Swans. This is where they need to find a target. It's this kick in that's been so much trouble for them. Goods trying, at least providing a target for them. Good tackling on Hodge, held him back. Kelly, can he make them pay? He had a man on with a handball. He can go on his own, Paul Kelly, right to the line, and it's a great effort, but just a behind.
Geez, they've worked hard, the Swans, to try and get a score on the board on that occasion. There was a lot of efforts off the ball just to create things for their teammates.
So Rawlings brings it out quickly. Barlow with the sit, not able to mark it. Gets a second bite at it. Bolton was there. And Barlow has had a pretty frustrating afternoon. Certainly finding it hard to get a touch.
Found a bit more of it in the air, the Swans, but I know that a lot of them are uncontested, Steve, but some good signs for them at least, the Swans.
Well, they're retaining the pressure and I suppose retaining possession, I should say. So Goods, who has been a very good player, certainly in their try at the moment, and
That's a bit tough, isn't it? I'm not sure what he can do because he's over the ball. If he doesn't get the ball out, he gets penalised.
Well, it was his left hand. He was clearly going to the boundary, so it was a great decision. And no tackle there, so Johnny Hay to bring it back in.
But he has to paddle it out, Dax. That's the rule. If you dive on it, you've got to paddle it out.
Yeah, but they want you to paddle it into play, not out of play. Ball thump. True wing it is, right in front of the interchange. We have a boundary throw in again, so Sydney have shown some good signs and have been able to put it on the scoreboard. The lead was 25 at halftime. It's back to 19. It all starts adding up. We can get one more. Halley at ground level over the top. This is where they want the ball now. Benny Matthews has Fosdyke further into the middle and has plenty of time. Should use it. Forward to the middle, bangs it in long, no one home. Johnny Hay, it'll bounce back towards Matty Nix. He missed it in the end. Over the top by hand was Hodge and went to the boundary and finds it. So the luck not going Sydney's way. Matty Nix missing it in the end.
A good sign, by Sydney, though, Dace, is that they've actually kicked the ball inside their 50 or in their 4.5. Sorry about the last minute or two.
So it comes back in virtually to the front of the goal square. Crouch, O'Loughlin. Loose ball, Hawthorn out of danger. They dribble it outside 50. That was cheeky, that was smart. And Stephen Green was the man able to get Hawthorn out of trouble. We have a boundary throw in, half forward, still in attack for Sydney.
The runners has come on and taken Sauce off the ground for a bit of treatment, and he's back.
Well,
I've got my voice back.
And while we're on Sauce, I just want to say I've never seen him as happy as he is today. Really, over the last 11 weeks has been pretty trying for him.
Kelly scrapping for it. And once again, a ball up. But you're right, the Swans have changed the momentum a bit in this game, in this quarter at least, haven't they? They've outscored them 2-2 to 1-2. They haven't been able to really get it on the board.
But spot on. I was just going to say that now they've got to try and get the score on the board.
Well, Adrian Cox is the leading possession winner on the ground with 20 possessions, and he's had a great day. Bolton, can he take the opportunity? Floating the handball. Nix. He's really a goal kicker. And he didn't panic, and he did well. Delivered to Ben Matthews, who has a very important shot coming up. Normally spends his time in defence, but a big shot for Ben Matthews.
I think that's a better move. Certainly an option is Barry Hall further up the ground now to make a contest, keep the ball at the ground, stop Hawthorn from running out. But I like Matty Nix close to goal, Sauce, because he is a player that will get the body behind the ball and does tend to find it.
Yeah, pretty clever.
So Matthews comes in. Kicked just one goal for the year, and that is his second. It's a very important one for the Swans. It gives them hope. So they must think they're a chance now. They've cut it back to 13, 8-8-56 to 6-7-43.
Well, it puts them in range too. Only a couple of goals down now, and they've had most of the play over the last 3 or 4 minutes, and they've been able to kick this one now. That gives them quite a bit of a hope to make this game a real prosperous one for them, Dukes.
Great use of the ball. You're right, Sauce. And coming back. So from 26-point deficit back to 13, the signs are good for Sydney, and they're starting to put it on the scoreboard now. Doyle has been good out of the middle. Vandenberg sharked it. Into half forward we go. Johnny Barker there for the Hawks. Ball bouncing his way. Nick Holland missing it. He's been quiet in this third quarter. Barry evades and then hands off. Kelly with time into the middle. This is where they need to get it. Paul Williams, a little bit of run on the outside. Sydney on the march now. Fosdyke has Keneally forward. Handballs. It goes in that direction. Chance for Keneally. Has to find someone. Retarded in the end. Comes down. Graham missed it in the end. Sydney great pressure. Off the ground. O'Loughlin trying to toe poke it. Sydney still getting it. Creswell. Push no. Rawlings. Fosdyke. Creswell there, just getting his foot to the ball, and good mark in the end, Hall. So they've got it to just outside 50.
Needs to get it in, Gates.
So Kelly running back short. Creswell's got it. Distance may be a problem.
They are doing well, the Swan Stakes. They are just forcing the ball forward now and just putting the Hawthorn players under a bit of pressure. They are starting to get a little bit of run from their half-back line, but that's through the quickness of movement throughout their play.
So Creswell has it outside 50. Distance problem short it is. Good kick. Kelly's got it. So the skipper now with a chance. He has had a big third quarter.
His 8th possession for the quarter, Dax.
Yeah, and working at both ends of the ground. He actually started that off half-back and now has a chance to finish. That goal to start this third quarter off. The skipper, a chance for goal number 2. He's got it all right. Sydney are heading back. It's back to 7. Two goals to Paul Kelly. And the Swans have managed 4 of the last 5 goals in the game. And we are, as I said, back to 7 points.
And really through the efforts of Paul Kelly as well, it's very hard to man up when he's leading out of the goal square. Not too many guys can keep up with him with his speed and also strength.
So Paul Kelly becomes the only multiple goal kicker on the ground, and it's Hawthorn 8-8-56, Sydney 7-7. The margin back to 7 at the MCG. Kelly inspiring his team. Ren, the Hawks trying to hit back. Crowd slapping at Bolton. They've been hard at the footy in this term. Suddenly they've got some momentum. Was that a free kick? It could have been a Hawthorn ball for a tackle without the footy. Green could have got the free but didn't. And we're going to see another ball up in the centre of the ground.
Well, I'll tell you, Sos, you made mention of the run of Sydney. You've certainly developed some run off half-back and certainly starting to carry the ball. And that was certainly evident about Hawthorn's game. That has disappeared from Hawthorn now.
Mitchell, good clearance. Barlow, no room to move. Kennelly's the man right on him. Chick, again trying to have an impact, but couldn't. Good, fierce tackling on Nick Rees. As the Hawks are just readjusting their defence at the other end of the ground. Paul Kelly's going to get a new opponent.
Just think they're top-heavy at the moment. They have Holland, Barker, and Thompson all as forwards. At the moment, I just think marking the ball overhead has been non-existent in this game.
Kennelly, Creswell. If the Swans can get a grab here, he can rush it forward. This is Kelly's opponent coming out. Hodge, he took him on, so the Swans win the ball. Kelly's clear. Here he is, Paul Kelly. Well tackled by Hodge. Did a great job there, Luke Hodge. Kelly kept on going. Ren making sure he was going nowhere on that occasion. And we're going to have a ball up. 7 points the difference at the MCG. A cool winter's day and a very important game for Hawthorn and the Sydney Swans. The Hawks led by 15 at quarter time. They led by 25 at half. But it's back to 7 now. And so a very important last 3 or 4 minutes here at the MCG for Paul Roos and his Swans. And of course for Hawthorn, who are just a game and percentage outside the 8. The tactics will be all important from here on in. Wren doing the ruck work at the moment. Doyle right there with him. And good fierce work from both teams.
Signs very good for Sydney. It goes without saying at the moment. Just their repositioning. Paul Williams being dragged back into Hawthorn's forward line by Nick Rees.
Now here's an opportunity for John Barker. And that was well chopped off again.
Dates, one move that Paul Roos has made. He's stopped that free bloke or that free opponent being loose in the Sydney forward half, and they are covering him now, which doesn't allow Hawthorn to get their run out of their back half.
Daniel Chick's had a few things go missing, hasn't he, over the past 6 months, but now he's gone missing himself. Sorry about that.
Well, they need him firing, without a doubt. And certainly his positioning, maybe off a wing, allow him a little bit of space, allow the ball to go over his head and run onto it, because just finding it pretty hard at the moment. He's probably in that position where the coach has to help him work his way into the game. Chick goes in, Mitchell there, Rees through the traffic, Barlow slaps it forward. They're just trying to push it into a position where they can get it and kick it. Barry to the boundary.
He's gone.
He's gone. Yeah, spot on. Good decision in the end. It could be 50. It is. Come back with me, says the umpire. And Leo Barry can understand his frustration. But if he thought giving away a free kick was a problem, have a look at this one. As Simon Cox, and I made mention of Paul Kelly being handed a gift. This tops that. So Simon Cox becomes a leading scorer with 2 goals for the Hawks. Much needed goal, and that breathing space extended. It's out to 13 points. And Hawthorn with a gift.
What do you think about the 50 there, Steve? Should the umpire give the players some latitude, or is it just bang, come with me straight away?
Well, I think pretty obvious what he said to the umpire, and we know we're not allowed to talk in that type of manner to the umpire, so he's probably correct with the 50.
So the Hawks get an important goal, 9-8, playing 7-7, and the margin back out to 13. Once again, we're close to the end of this quarter. Let's see how the Swans go here. Tallis able to keep his feet. Bolton, he gives him a bit of grunt around the packs. Well done by Bolton, but the handball let himself down. Good tackling, he kept on going, barging through. The Swans needed Adam Goods to show his skills there, but it came off hands and over the boundary line. And there's Barry Hall's brother. No, it's not.
Just on that incident, that 50-metre penalty, years ago, Dakes, the umpire used to give you the opportunity to say, were you talking to me? And if you reacted, he'd send you back on a 50-metre penalty. But these days, it's the first reaction, and you bang, you can get the 50 metres.
It's a little bit hard, isn't it, these days? But
what's the old story? You say to the umpire, can you penalise me 50 if I tell you for what I'm thinking? And he says, no, I can't. Well, I think you're an idiot. Cleaned that up too. 9-8, 62 to 7-7, 49.
So a chance for Sydney. Signs have been good, though. They've got it back to within 13. Give themselves every opportunity. To the boundary was Holland. Loose ball, Mitchell. Cox is in there. Not able to pull forward. Bolton did well, and they just bombed it in. Hay can run. Hands off to Crawford. Can go into the middle of the ground. Out wide on that left foot, he decides to go. No one there for Hawthorn. All Sydney. Paul Williams has the ball. Plenty of time to look up and deliver. Just inside 50. Ball will travel. Players come out. Hawthorn will mop up again. Loney, Green, just starting to work it a little bit better. Thompson, a long way from home. Williams, quiet afternoon. Boundary wins out. And Dunkley and Nathan Thompson, long way from their positions. We have a boundary throw-in.
Just 9 possessions for Paul Williams, Steve. We mentioned earlier, the last 5 weeks, he's had 22 possessions or more.
He's been well held, and certainly the Swans are to win this game. You'd hope that he'd have a pretty good last quarter.
Fixter working against Chick. Mitchell hurriedly, but effectively. And Rees.
And Nick Rees is actually doing the job on Paul Williams, and after that ball was thrown in from the boundary after the contest, ran back into Hawthorn's forward line, Rees.
Oh, an excellent kick too. Gave Dixon the opportunity. Thompson's on his own in the goal square. If he could just get the ball, he couldn't.
Super effort by Barry to actually get a score on Dixon there.
And as Dunkley was contesting, Thompson stayed back in the goal square. Barry was there.
Chick, Saddington. Swans have to be careful here. Williams, again, fierce gang tackling. Or fixed the drag.
Could be trouble.
And he was a little fortunate there.
It's got to the stage
but that's
now.
The problem, Dax. What does he do? He had to grab the ball and bring it underneath him, because if he hit it out, it would have gone over the boundary line. So that's the problem with the rule.
Just so important, just on that, Hutto, that players plant the seed with the umpire, and it's no different to cricket these days.
Over the last 5 years, a dynasty has risen and fallen.
It's all over for Brisbane.
We farewell the Prince.
This moment marks the final play at Prince's Park.
Hail the new king.
Public denigration is unacceptable and won't be tolerated.
And witnessed the impossible.
Remarkable.
Revisit a remarkable era with every game of the past 5 seasons, running all summer, only on Fox Footy Channel.
I'm going to Robot City.
Talk to him.
Robot
City?
I want to be somebody.
Rodney Copperbottom was a small-town boy with a big city dream.
Wow.
Put your head between your legs.
Huh?
It used to be a lot worse. They had this giant hammer. Oh, they brought it back.
But something evil is stirring in Robot City. And Rodney will make it his mission to get to the bottom of it.
Why is she called Aunt Fanny?
Get ready for an adventure where the good guys will show the bad guys what they're made of.
Oh, a Baislow. Oui, sir. I'm a woman. Ouch.
Robots.
You know I could do that.
Starts Thursday, December 15, only on Foxtel Box Office.
This December, witness Australian world premieres and exclusives on CI. For hundreds of years, the mafia vow of silence was sacred. Until now. Uncover why organized crime has entered its twilight years. Mob stories. When the local police cannot break a case within 24 hours.
It was like I knew something was wrong.
It is in the FBI's jurisdiction to step in and solve the crime. Open the FBI files. A young British woman's marriage to an American playboy ends with deceit, deviance, and death. In Crime and Punishment, Brit and the Bodybuilder. A murderer is released and embraced by academia after writing a bestseller.
You educate a psychopath, what do you have? You have an educated psychopath.
What's to stop him killing again? Find out in Mugshot. Jack Unterweger. This December, witness Australian premieres and exclusives on CI.
Sounded at VFL Park, and he's put it right through the centre.
And he has to score to win the game for the Blues. And he misses. It's out of bounds. It's a draw. Oh, Shanahan plays on. He bends it back to sticks, and he's got his third.
Classic Quarters, all summer on Fox Footy Channel.
Yesterday, be pretty keen for them to finish off and win here.
Jared, we saw Thompson run past you there. Is he okay?
Yeah, he does seem to be.
I will follow that one with interest. Last quarter from the MCG. Can the Swans continue their challenge, or will the Hawks run away? The margin 13, and the captain, Crawford, who's been okay, 17 possessions today, tried to get them going, but now, here's Fosdyke, who's been one of the best for the Swans. Collaborating with Williams, pumping it in. Barry Hall is circling at the back, waiting for it to get through. Was Nix as well, but he couldn't take a good tackle from Kelly. He's led the way for the Swans. Well, it could have been holding the ball. I guess I'll have to wait and have a look whether it was or not. Steve, you're waving your arms around there.
I think he had prior opportunity, but interesting to see. We just see the tackle there. No question, that's holding the ball. He had prior opportunity. Interesting to see that the Swans set up, or their forward line set up. Nix and O'Loughlin are starting out of the goal square, and both Hall and also Kelly are starting about 20 to 25 metres away from the goal square up the middle of the ground.
So Luke Hodge has it after the Simon Cox kick in. No real targets. An option for the Hawks now is Nathan Thompson with his mobility around the ground. Certainly would be able to run off Doyle. Oh, Hall, well done, takes the mark. So Sydney not allowing Hawthorn to run this out. Early goal really starts to wind this game up. Perry Hall playing further up the ground, probably in this instance, back to no one, and gave it up to Sean Wren in the end. So hands off, out wide. Simon Cox backpedals to allow himself time. Beautiful kick out in front of Crawford. Can he keep it in? Right on his hammer is Crouch, and Boundary wins out. And Crouch has probably taken the honours there. The Hawthorn skipper has certainly had a little bit of the ball, 18 touches.
13 possessions of his own, Crouch Dakes, and Crawford has 18.
So Crouch probably taking the honours there at the moment. And a lot of the Crawford touches coming in the early part of the game. Certainly just before half-time or the first half. So Crouch has done well. Loose ball comes out. Cox, one of Hawthorn's best. Bombs long with a torque. It'll bounce. And for Sydney, the bounce towards a boundary is a good one. We have a boundary throw in 15 metres around from Hawthorn's goal.
Jade Rawlings actually gone to full forward for the Hawks, and Dunkley has picked him up.
So unguarded goal scorer at the moment as Rawlings playing as a forward now, just in front of the goals. You have Keneally, who may be the option here. Ball will be slugged towards the boundary. Doyle takes it and retains possession, which is good. Certainly Hawthorn plays in and around him. And we have a ball up this time, 20 metres away from the Hawthorn goal. Still important that players are manned up. Nick Holland started well, certainly died off. Sydney starting to come in. Loose ball Green. Keneally towards the boundary did well. And taking no chance of Sydney, we have another boundary throw in, 25 from the Hawthorn goal. We're 3 minutes into this last quarter. Last chance for Sydney. They trail by 12 points. This could be their season. The Hawthorn bench with Nathan Thompson has certainly had his work cut out. And I don't think the conditions have suited him. Certainly haven't suited a lot of the Tors. So we have a boundary throw in again. Still have it in an attacking position. Hawthorn, as Simon Cox sitting back on the boundary virtually, will run back into play now. So he's on the move. Holland will take it. Loose ball will come down. Barlow is in there. Hawthorn retain it again. So the sign's pretty good. 35 from goal. Be a genius to be able to win and get a kick on goal here. Hawthorn certainly giving themselves every opportunity by retaining it. Green through the traffic. They've got it outside 50. Crouch is there for Sydney. And again, another possession of the umpire. We have a ball up, Hutto.
Just with the Hawthorn key forwards are Holland and Rawlings, with obviously Dixon and Barker and Thompson are off the ground at present.
Yeah, it's a different looking makeup, isn't it? A much smaller forward line for them. So obviously the windy conditions, that's what they've decided. There's one of the men we're talking about, Holland getting it in. Williams helping out Dunkley. And the ball over the boundary line.
He'd have to be one of the best spoilers in the game, Andrew Dunkley. He does it very, very well.
They could set themselves up in a way, Hawthorn. Rawlings actually contested that. Very hard to mark in the wind, as I said, and jumping against two Sydney players, because they are getting numbers back, is to knock the ball over the head, and if we can get it to a certain part of the ground, get numbers to that part.
Now, Sean Wren came in to lend a hand then, but Swan's able to clear it. Plenty of numbers for Hawthorn. Oh, Lachlan beat them all. He left them floundering, but he made it difficult for Bolton, who acted like he'd taken the mark, holding it up. Vandenberg, great aggression, and the Hawks able to win out. He pops it up for Holland. He judged it well, Nick Holland. Good running. He looks like he's going to try and inspire his team in this last quarter. Back in the team, he's had such a hard year. Played 12 games, kicked 14 goals going into today. He's only been able to average one contested mark a match.
Oh, play on.
And now he's been called off, so he takes them on. He's just able to get clear. It's a scrappy old kick, and it favoured Dunkley, one of the best marks in the business. And he quickly dishes off. Something, Dakes, that Nick Holland could have done, do you think? Well, it was suggested.
Could have.
Doyle over the top. Back to Williams. Good combination. Hall provided at centre-half forward a lead, but he didn't go to him. He got himself in and out of trouble, but mainly in trouble that time. Fixed it. And now the Hawks with Loney. We know how he can carry the lines. There's loose men everywhere for them. And well placed. Oh, Chick, the fumble. Oh, he did well to recover. Chick, what a great lifting goal. A lifter for the Hawks. Kicked by Daniel Chick. Second goal for Chick. And the Swans' mistakes costing them dearly again. Punished by Hawthorn and by Daniel Chick. 10-8 to 7-8.
And it was, caused from the Swans' mistake. Fixter was the man that turned the ball over, but what great play by Daniel Chick. It was real vintage Daniel Chick there. Really should have taken the mark, but his power got him in good stead here. Was able to snap that goal from the boundary. Team lifting goal.
So Daniel Chick making a goal from nothing, and the lead going out. And in the context of the game, I suppose he's kicked 20% of their score. 2 goals for Chick. Joins Simon Cox. Sydney into attack outside 50. They need a goal now. Well done, Loney. Kelly there on the full no. Got his foot to it and just bounced before it went over the line. Right in front of the members here. Pretty overcast and starting to become pretty dark here at the G. Paul Kelly there providing the contest. He's been a very good player, the skipper. Wonderful player throughout his career. Ball comes in. Exactly. Doyle was there. Bolton will handball along the line, so he did well to steal at least 10 metres. We're just outside 50 now. Great game. Hawthorn giving themselves every opportunity to stay in touch with the 8 at the moment. Just under 8 minutes last quarter. Sydney season starting to fall by the wayside with this game. Much needed 4 points at stake. Thump forward again, Crawford. Tallis puts the body into Creswell. Green running towards a Sydney goal. Vandenberg hugs the boundary over the top. They worked it well. Tallis into the air. Slap it forward. Trying to mark it was Doyle. Fosdyke pushes it forward, then on to Kelly. Couldn't get it to him. The skipper dribbles it. Vandenberg. Tallis. It's inside 50. Good pressure from Sydney. Certainly going at it the right way. Wren was there. Kelly. Loose ball. Crouch. Smother. Well done, Hawks. Around the body, Johnson. So they've got it to wing. At least they've opened the game up. Holland will see it over the line. True win. Boundary throwing.
Super passage of play. It wasn't pretty, but both sides attacking the ball. Plenty of tackling. Plenty of desperation. Fantastic.
25,000 the attendance at the MCG. 10-8, 68 Hawthorn. 7-8, 50 the Sydney Swans. 9 minutes have gone so far in this last quarter. Just the one goal, kicked by Hawthorn. Vandenberg gets him to half forward again. Under pressure, good tackling on Hodge. And Kennelly went to ground looking for a free. He's got one. Perhaps a little fortunate, and Hodge perhaps a little fortunate not to give away 50. Really hammered the ball back to him. Bolton, and we did ignite them for a while in the third quarter. O'Loughlin presenting beautifully. And now Goods has broken into the pocket if O'Loughlin can find him. He wanted to go for Kelly, instead got himself into trouble. Able to just help it forward. Williams finding some space. Paul Williams back to O'Loughlin. Can be so destructive at his best, O'Loughlin. And that was well placed in front of Nix. Well, they did it very hard, they got there.
They did make that hard work anyway, but O'Loughlin, perfect place kick, just put the ball out in front for Nix to run onto. But certainly the Swans need to get the ball in there quickly and put the Hawthorn defenders under the pump.
Well, Matthew Nix, he has kicked goals in every game this year except 2. Hasn't been able to kick one today. 23 goals, 10 for the year. Kicked 6 one day last year in the match late in the season against St Kilda. So form is on his side, and form has proved to be a good guide. It's a goal. Matthew Nix kicks his first for the day, and the Swans back in it. 2 goals the difference at the MCG in the last quarter.
Pretty good move too by Paul Roos to have Nix around the goal face. He certainly is a goal kicker. Very well skilled. We just see Michael O'Loughlin here making hard work out of the footy, but the Swans just crashed it forward and got it moving forward, and certainly that's what they've got to do in this last quarter.
So Matty Nix making good. True measure of accuracy going at a stationary target, namely the goals in this case. So he did beautifully to finish off. Sydney still in there. Hawks push the ball out. Creswell cocks over it. He could be gone, and he is. So no rest at the moment for Hawks. Cox saying I was grabbed too high. Creswell was a player over the top, so he did well to blanket him. Williams supplies inside the forward line. Goods has got it! He has! Second, third bite. I don't think he was a target going in. Adam Goods comes up with it. And a goal here. Boy, and the running is with Sydney at the moment. That guy has been fabulous. Williams has certainly come into the game. And Adam Goods with the responsibility will kick from 45. It means he has to get it in the air. Opposite side to Matty Nix.
And Dakes, if he kicks this, it's the closest the Swans have been. The first time since the 20-minute mark of the first quarter.
And at the right time in this game, Sydney are starting to pull it their way. Goods with a chance. The chance is to the left. He misses. It's back to 11 points, 8-9 Sydney, 10-8 is Hawthorn score. still plenty of time, 12 and a half minutes last quarter.
And just a Hawthorn fans, Nathan Thompson back onto the ground.
Adam Good scores a goal. 10-8, plays 8-9. Hodge, very short. The Hawks won't want to be too defensive. Still a lot of time to go in this last quarter. Dangerous, but effective as it turned out. Simon Cox had another big day possession-wise. The Hawks running again on the overlap. Vandenberg, Graham getting it in quickly. We mentioned Thompson back on the ground. Will he have an impact straight away? No, Dunkley, who's done a great job on him.
It's probably better. It sounds a bit silly that Thompson plays from behind because the ball will sail over their heads.
And that was a scrappy bit of disposal kick on the way out. And it's given the Hawks a chance when really the Swans had the run and the momentum. Cox put it out in front of Thompson that time, and once again Gessel's right there with him.
He's pretty good. He makes you earn every contest you go to, Andrew Dunkley, and you just know that you're not going to get an easy mark on him.
I think he's been helped, and it might sound a little bit silly, but as a forward I would play from behind, allow the ball to go over my head, keep the player, and namely Dunkley, from charging back towards our goal.
Saddington in that little position where you're close to the boundary line and you have to try and not give the free kick away, but also affect the over-the-line ball and call for a neutral contest, which is what we've got now. Vandenberg leading the way with the player rankings, had 22 possessions for the day for Hawthorn. Johnson, Vandenberg, Cox and Cox, the top 4 possession winners, which would be pleasing for Peter Swab. Steve, Crawford not being the #1 possession winner.
I'm pretty sure, though, he'd like Crawford to be the #1. He hasn't played one of his best games, so certainly he'd like him to start getting a few more touches.
Luke Hodge with a big job on Paul Kelly now.
Well, lucky they can't give yellow cards away for staging for free kicks, because Nick Holland would have got one then. Chick bombing it in, so he's had some important touches, Daniel Chick. Again, Thompson was crunched. Dixon lurking, loves to snap the leaves, couldn't. Crawford there waiting. Thompson provided. Rees, good patience by the Swans defence. Rees has dragged it under.
Well done. He held it in and stopped Sydney from running it out. So Nick Rees, well done. But interesting, just the height of the players now inside their attacking zones. They're going with the smaller type players as Loney re-emerges for the Hawks.
Holland was his replacement. Loney replaced Holland, I should say.
Having to kick the ball out onto the wing. Wren setting it up with Cox, almost getting themselves into trouble. And now the loose man is on and the Hawks can go forward.
So a chance for Campbell Brown, the supplier inside, looking for a marking option. Dunkley to pick it off, couldn't mark in the end. Chick pushed him in the end, and the boundary again wins out. So Hawthorn have it to within 35 a goal. Barry Hall playing across half forward up the other end for Sydney now, so he's pushed further up the ground. Scotty Stevens at full forward for Sydney.
We just see the marks inside 50 there, Dakes. Certainly drying up for the Hawks.
And Sydney 2-zip. Johnson keeps it low, ends up on the full. Hasn't been a bad player, Brett Johnson. Very good player. He's kicked the goal also. Again, Williams brings it in. Doyle takes it. So Sydney pretty wide. Danger. Loney played into his hands, or was certainly help. He knocks it away from Goods and we have a boundary throw-in. So it's half forward, 65 around from the Hawthorn goal. 11-point margin held by the Hawks at the moment. 16.5 minutes last quarter. Officially, the season could be over for Sydney. Whatever hope they have, maybe certainly completely put out by the Hawks. Johnson over the ball, Crouch in there, and they've done well to push to nearly wing out aside. Paul Kelly saying the drop-off so important to Sydney, has certainly instigated a lot after half-time.
Brockman coming on for the Swans, and Scott Stevens off. Sydney going for plenty of time for them. Good spoil from Graham and O'Loughlin. Been a really intriguing struggle between those two for much of the day. Tripp was the call from the umpire. And Vandenberg, who's just had a great season.
He has. He's got an uncanny ability to be able to break a tackle.
Graham getting it in quickly. Thompson looked likely that time. Once again, Dunkley somehow getting his fist to the ball. Barlow, right there within Fosdyke. Important play, this one for the Hawks. Cox could have gone back to Barlow. Cox can go on his own. He kicked it with authority. Cox kicks the goal. And the Hawks, that might nearly be enough in a low-scoring encounter. 11-8-74 to 8-9-57. The margin back to 17. And what a great goal from Adrian Cox.
And another play, Dakes, that certainly has improved. His goal-kicking ability is one of his real strengths, but what a sensational goal this was at a crucial time of the game.
Well, he didn't confuse the issue, did he? Got it when it goal. Uncomplicated goal from Adrian Cox. He took it and then went straight at the goal. Johnson smothered Bolton, threw it out. Goods through the traffic, missed his mark. Sydney through their ruckman Doyle, still in the square. Nix or Mark has to move it quickly. Paul Williams running forward. He goes into the corridor. Paul Kelly not able to mark. Big ask as players go in. Fosdyke missed. In the end, handball out of Paul Williams. This is a goal. Easy. Still in there, Sydney. So Paul Williams gets it back, and the lead cut back to 11 points. Not to be done with yet, says Paul Williams. 19 minutes last quarter. 74 Hawthorn, Sydney 63.
Pretty good reply too by the Swans. Pretty lucky here that Ashley got the ball away. Fortunate that Williams actually got the ball, and he ended up kicking an easy goal.
Well, we're just getting used to these close finishes these days, aren't we? It seems amazing. 11-8-74 to 9-9-63. Paul Roos, you'll be really feeling what it's like to be a coach today. Last week was just a honeymoon start. Swans putting pressure on. Loney tries again. Went to ground. Good presenting by Reese. Kept it going for the Hawks. Dexter was desperate. Johnson pursuing him. Swans under siege. Ball up.
Nick Reese did beautifully. I really do think he actually pointed the toe out to the left there, went out to the half-forward, tried to put it out in front of his teammate. Terrific football, smart thinking, great improvisation.
Yeah, he's a good young player, that's for sure.
Young Fixter did well also there, just to hold that ball up.
Well, you don't need to take the ball in your hand to constructive possession.
Barlow over the top, the Swans with lots of little handballs in there. Might eventually be able to clear it. Onto the wing, it's one-on-one out there between Loney and Goods. Oh, it falls for Goods. A bit of good fortune. Tough for Hall in amongst three Hawks. He created a contest, kept it alive for the Swans, but the handball let him down. Brown, great kick. The boundary line. And once again, we'll start from the throw in.
Got a pretty good head on him, young Brown. Very smart player.
Terrific football, great option in the end. And we may be getting to the stage where the game is starting to be closed up by the Hawks.
And Campbell Brown's only got to play another 10 on he'll have equalled as many as his old man.
21 minutes last quarter. Hawks maintain slenderest of margins. It's 11 points at the moment. Darren Creswell certainly not been as good as he can be. Boy, if he can find something in the next 5, 6, 7 minutes, Sydney in there with a chance.
He does accumulate the ball, though. He's still
there. He is.
22nd possession.
Over the top to Kelly. On to Ablett. Inside 50. Matty Nix free kick. Not paid in the end. Sydney trying to maintain it. Doyle did well to slap it forward. Fosdyke in the end missed the ball, so Hawthorn's chance to defend. They do well. Fosdyke actually away from goal. Nix in there. Hall. Let me enemy says. He's wrapped up in the end. Hawthorn showing us much bigger, and we will get a ball up about 40 from goal, and that's Sydney's goal.
Wasn't too keen on getting the handball out there, is he, Barry?
Well, he's a forward, Hutto, but in the end, again, as I say, uncomplicated, less use of the ball, just get it, try and find a bit of space and get it towards goal.
So they're deep in attack, the Swans. A clearing kick, they're not deep in attack anymore. Some important one-on-one contests here. Matthews, Rees just throwing himself at the ball. And holding it in for another ball up.
Terrific football from young Nick Rees. Terrific. Put himself in, unlucky not to have got a kick as well.
Coming up to the last 5 minutes of the game. Another thriller from the MCG. 11 points in it. Goods trying to impose himself on this contest. But he's over the top of it, really. Hodge just got it clear. And now Crawford, his handball. Well, Johnson just left it behind. I'm not sure what Fixter was trying to do there. Bit of gymnastics. And we're going to have another ball up in the middle.
Should have been a free in the end.
Thompson back on the bench with Nick Holland. So 7 goals last week. Thompson just the 1 today. Great effort from Andrew Dunkley.
Bolton back on. Fosdyke off for the Swans.
11-8 Hawthorn, 9-9 Sydney. 23-minute mark, as you can see, the last quarter. Creswell managed to just shovel it forward. Crouch in his 100th game kept it moving. Swans have got numbers here through the middle. Kelly, who was great in the 3rd quarter. Can he spot up O'Loughlin? He's trying, he's desperate. Creswell, we know he can kick goals late in a quarter. Was playing for a 3, didn't get it. Vandenberg, Nix, good fierce tackling. It's a good contest now for the ball. Here's Fixter to come in, and once again, we've got a ball up or a throw-in situation.
Great pressure by both sides. The tackling's been fantastic. The attack on the ball's been sensational. And both sides giving themselves every chance to win this game.
So ball to come in. Sydney still have it about 70 from goal. Long way from home. Hawthorn starting to crowd them. Slapped on Crouch. Creswell, player outside is Williams. On that left foot, centres the ball, running in Graham. O'Loughlin, he meet. Well done, great commitment in the end. Bolton is there. Campbell making sure. Bolton going nowhere. And we will get a ball up this time, 25 from goal. And Sydney, 24 minutes last quarter, scoring opportunity. Hawthorn starting to push players back as Paul Roos, he can be quite pleased. What he wants is a 4 points, as do Hawthorn. Ball goes up, comes down. Hawks have themselves in behind the ball. Doyle slapped out somehow. Wren knocked up the ball by the smaller Kelly. Fixed her around the body, back towards the goal square. And having it covered is Campbell Brown. He's taken a mark and will kill off a little bit of time now. The Hawks ready to go into attack.
Well, it's a long way to attack from here. Brown goes out to half-back. Cox versus Ablett one-on-one. Cox has been terrific today, and he kept his feet and was able to deliver. Johnson going for the boundary line. Barlow and Dixon, and the result exactly as the Hawks desired. 11-8-74 Hawthorn. 9-9-63 Sydney. In this last quarter, we've seen just 4 goals kicked, so you wouldn't think it'll be a really long quarter. Swans have outscored them by 2 points, and the margin is 11 at the moment in this last term.
So the change is being swung at the moment. Hodge off for the Hawks. Stephen Green back on, so fresh legs. A player that can run and will run with Nick Fosdyke in the last or the remaining few minutes.
And Luca Ablett off for the Swans. They love to run forward if they can release it, and Creswell did that. There is Williams, and he can use his teammates. Creswell kept on going, had a couple in front of him. Could have handballed, he wanted to get it into Barry Hall, but it didn't get there.
Spot on, Coach, he had to give that.
He had Fosdyke running, he had Crouch running, he should have handed off. So Rawlings into the middle, Stephen Green. No great rush at the moment, as you can see the clock. Time starting to favour the Hawks. Chobby and his boys 2 in a row. Loose ball, half back, running back onto it. Crouch takes it and moves on quickly towards wing. It'll bounce. Bolton has it covered, then wrapped up in the end. Saddington will run. Sydney need a score. Time starting to run away from him. The City's Nix, he's got it. No, can slap it on. Creswell, O'Loughlin will give it to Creswell. Open goal in the back. No, that's a minor score. O'Loughlin pleads his case. Creswell looks at the umpire. And minor score. Let's have a look at this one again. It should have been a free for mine. O'Loughlin on to Creswell. Clearly pushed in the back. And with the umpire only a few metres away.
For some reason, though, when it's in that situation, they rarely pay it, do they?
Oh, but then you take into consideration some of the other soft threes they play.
Look, anywhere else on the ground, it would have been a free.
Still should have kicked it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, good point. At the back, Kennelly with the opportunity. The Swans are the momentum. The Hawks have stopped at the moment. Crouch. They're still trying. Oh, Dixon able to lift them. Important play for the Hawks. Crawford, Bolton going in to try and tackle. Here they go again, the Swans. If it falls their way, Bolton wasn't a great handball. He was under pressure. Mitchell, they're all under pressure out there at the moment. Kennelly clearing the path for Williams. Great work on the overlap. Leaping Leo Barry. Pumps it in there. Tough for Nix to take this one. And 3 to beat. Made the contest. Good footy. Hawks steady. Loney heads for the boundary line. End of the space. 74 plays 64. 10-point ball game. Well done, Ben Matthews. Off the left boot. Destructive looking kick was all right, but not quite good enough for Williams to take it. And now Green. Free kick is the throw. It's a Sydney. No, he's reversed it. He's reversed it against Barry Hall. Can you believe that?
I just want to... Campbell's courage and Nix's courage on that occasion.
Campbell, Brown take a bow. Fair dinkum. Unbelievable. The youngster with only, boy, a handful of games in his pocket, showing amazing courage. And I know where he gets that from. That's his mum, not his dad. I thought his mum, Kay.
Both players, though, Dakes. Nix made the contest, brought the ball to ground, but as you said, the courage by Campbell Brown was outstanding.
Well, they've got a man up
Hawks. Well, they're trying to run this clock down. Rawlings out of that back pocket. And this is where they shouldn't have a man on the mark, Sydney. Really make the player Rawlings actually push the ball forward, because instinctively you will run off. As a siren goes, there is no more. In a low-scoring game, Jonathan Hay comes up with it, but the Hawks have held on. It's a 10-point victory. And in